The discourse around woke policies, political partisanship, and tribalism has raised concerns among many about the potential erosion of traditional American values. This phenomenon can be perceived as America losing its soul, a metaphor for a deep-seated identity crisis affecting the nation's core principles and cultural cohesion. Woke policies, rooted in social justice and identity politics, emphasize recognizing and correcting historical and systemic injustices. Critics argue that while these policies aim to promote equity and inclusion, they can also lead to divisiveness by prioritizing group identity over individual merit and shared national values. Traditional American values such as individualism, meritocracy, and freedom of speech are seen as being undermined by the emphasis on collective grievances and victimhood status. Political partisanship and tribalism have exacerbated these tensions. The American political landscape has become increasingly polarized, with each side viewing the other as an existential threat to their way of life. This zero-sum mentality hinders productive dialogue and compromises, making it difficult to find common ground. As a result, the nation's political and social fabric feels more frayed than ever, with a loss of mutual respect and a sense of shared destiny. Racism as a catch-all phrase. Racism, a persistent issue in American history, has been employed by some as a catch-all term to discredit opposing viewpoints and advance particular agendas. While genuine efforts to address racial inequalities are crucial, the overuse or misapplication of the term racist can stifle constructive debate and alienate those who feel unjustly accused. This dynamic can lead to a backlash, further entrenching divisions and diverting attention from substantive discussions on how to effectively combat racism. The decline of scholastic standards among the younger generation is another facet of this broader cultural shift. Emphasis on political correctness and avoiding potentially offensive material can lead to a diluted curriculum. Educational institutions might prioritize teaching about social justice issues at the expense of traditional academic subjects and critical thinking skills. This trend could result in a generation less equipped to engage in rigorous intellectual debate, less knowledgeable about their history, and less prepared for the complexities of the modern world. Together, these elements contribute to the perception that America is losing its soul. The country's traditional values of free expression, individual rights, and a collective national identity are seen as being overshadowed by identity politics, partisanship, and declining educational standards. This perceived loss manifests in a sense of disorientation and disunity, with Americans struggling to agree on fundamental principles and what it means to be American. In summary, the interplay of woke policies, political partisanship, and tribalism is perceived by some as contributing to the erosion of traditional American values. The use of racism as a tool for political maneuvering and the decline in educational standards further exacerbate this sense of cultural disintegration. This confluence of factors fosters a narrative of America losing its soul, as it grapples with redefining its identity in an increasingly polarized and complex society.